I will.
He gets freaking finicky about background noises. See, in 2004, I was with the TRADOC, which is the Training and Doctrine Command for the military. We had a soldier that no matter what we did, had temper outbursts, frequent temper outbursts. She had numerous brushes with military reg. We couldn't figure out what was going on with her. Well, we handled it the way you normally handle a situation like that. Lots of push-ups and took time and money. Well, late one night we received word that somebody was in the latrine with the door shut and locked and there was blood on the floor. We didn't know what was going on. I was on charge of quarters that night, which is the guy in charge of the barracks after hours. So we went upstairs and we checked on it, opened the door, got inside, and we found out that she had committed suicide. We were bothered by that and wanted to know what we could have done differently to have made it so she wouldn't have committed suicide. Started looking into it, found out she had gotten through the cracks. She was a borderline personality disorder soldier. So we began looking for answers on how we could have better addressed that situation, and I figured the best way to do that was to look into the disorder itself. I didn't know it at the time, but I would have plenty of experience later on down the road with that disorder. My name is Thomas Reed. In 2006, I met my wife at Fort Riley, Kansas. At first, she was a happy, easygoing person who laughed easy. I soon discovered she had borderline personality disorder as well. After 10 years, I've learned a great deal about this disorder, some of it from therapists and doctors who have helped her, others from my own independent research. I'd like to pass on some of that knowledge to you guys in the hope that you can save somebody else's life. One family member can hold the family together. I hope that after this speech you will have learned enough to help somebody suffering from that disorder. The symptoms of borderline personality disorder are real or imagined fear of abandonment, unstable or quickly changing relationships, unstable sense of self or poor self-image, impulsive or self-damaging behavior, binge eating, risky driving, spending money quickly, suicidal behaviors or self-mutilation, rapid mood swings of anger, constant feeling of worthlessness, frequent loss of temper and physical fighting, stress-related paranoia, or loss of connection to reality. Stress on the family members of someone suffering from this disorder. I'd like to share this quote that I found. People with BPD often rely on those around them to help maintain a stable sense of self. This places considerable demands on loved ones who come to dread being blamed for the person's bad mood, recent work disappointment, or fluctuating body image. While such relational demands can be difficult for adults, they are frequently overwhelming for children who require caregiving that is both stable and consistent. Perhaps most importantly, children need to internalize a sense of self that is basically good and deserving of love, care, and attention. This sense comes directly from caregivers, and it becomes the bedrock on which a child's future emotional and mental well-being are built. When caregivers are preoccupied with maintaining their own internal equilibrium, they are unable to provide emotional substance that children require. Now, that when I was doing this was the stress it places on a spouse, family members that are often mystified and exhausted by a relative's illness.
There's in the can out here, Hopi.
The intense mood swings and anger outbursts can be frightening and disruptive. Impulsive acting out in areas such as spending, substance abuse, or sex can be a major source of marital conflict. The other thing that I looked at was causes. This disorder is new enough that they really don't have it nailed down 100% what the causes of it are. One of the things that they found is Across the board is child abuse or neglect, usually occurring between the ages of 3 and 5. Genetics, which is family members passing down mental illness through genetic genes. Brain abnormalities, they're looking at people with bipolar often show up later on in life with borderline personality disorder. It's found predominantly more in females than in males. Percentage is like 75% of people with borderline are female. The treatment for BPD is therapy. It can involve family members, but does not always. Medication is shown to improve symptoms. DBT is a new thing they're using, dialectical behavioral therapy. It's shown massive progress in treatment, but is still viewed with doubt by professionals because they consider what DBT teaches that should have been learned at an early age, and they're finding a lot of people with this disorder, their brain stops developing at a certain age to a point. Family members often have to seek treatment for the family members in ERs to prevent the person from hurting themselves, and a lot of medical professionals basically say it's a best bet of a family member to get help themselves in treatment while dealing with somebody with this disorder. In conclusion, this is a terrible illness to have. The better majority of the population does not know about it. This in turn makes them shy away from a person with it due to the chaotic lifestyles many of them display. Sadly, this leaves them to walk this road alone. It is even more saddening that people who could help them but don't understand the disorder often treat them the same as a person without the disorder. This leads down a dark road that may end in death. The word needs to come out about this disorder because you could be saving a life. That's